What's up, y'all? Welcome to Divine Star Wisdom. It's your girl Nicole, and today we're doing part 2 of our Pisces energy video. So we talked about Pisces being a water sign. It's a mutable water sign. Pisces is ruled by two signs. It's ruled by Neptune, and it's also ruled by the planet. I said ruled by two signs. It's ruled by two planets, Neptune and Jupiter. So Jupiter is all about the wisdom and the teaching. So that's why like a lot of Pisces people become like teachers of something, or like they like to study a lot, or they just have like this really creative side that they like to express to others or show others. There's like a jovial, funny spirit, energeticness about Pisces, even though Pisces is considered like the oldest of the astrology signs. Pisces still has like a very like youthful spirit and energy, no matter what age they are. They're considered to be old souls, but at the same time, it's still like I said, a youthful, playful, like, I think the youthful playfulness that I'm describing is like the unconditional love part of Pisces, which is represented by the Neptune energy. Neptune is representing otherworldly things. Neptune is representing the divine. It's representing the God energy. Is representing the afterlife. And a lot of Pisces are so tapped in and so immersed and so intertwined with the spiritual realm that some of them have troubles to integrate into this physical reality. And I talked about that in part 1. So if you haven't seen it, make sure you go check it out. But now we're going to get into some of these transits that Piscean people have experienced over the last 3 years. So for the last 2.5 years, we've had Pisces be affected by Saturn. And we all know Saturn is the planet of restriction. It's the planet of isolation to a certain extent, because Pisces is the sign of isolation. But when I say Saturn is the planet of isolation, Saturn will isolate you to get stuff done. Pisces will you isolate yourself. That's the difference. So it's compatible in the way of like Pisces, we're okay with being alone, but we don't want to have to be alone. So it's like the restriction part of it is the Saturn energy. But Pisces, like I said, we do just fine on our own. That's how, we heal ourselves. Pisces, a lot of Pisces people are healers. And in order to heal other people, you also have to be able to heal yourself. You have to be able to regroup after being a sponge and an empath and soaking up the energy of other people. So the discipline comes in with Saturn energy. And over the last 2.5 years, Pisces have learned to have that discipline side, have learned to have boundaries, because Pisces is also the sign of no boundaries. It's the ocean. Think about the depths of the ocean. We haven't discovered anywhere near, not even half of the depths of the ocean. So that's like the uncharted territory of a Piscean person. And it's just, they don't even know themselves fully. So it's like they don't know how to put certain boundaries in place, or what should be allowed and what shouldn't be allowed. But they do learn that over time through mirroring other people, because Pisces also represents like mirrors, and how other people see themselves through you, the Piscean person. You, like I said, are adaptable, mutable signs. So a lot of times, especially in relationships, you get in relationships where you become the other person. Like, you begin to talk like them, you begin to finish their sentences, you become one with the other people. And Pisces have to learn not to do that. Pisces have to learn how to differentiate themselves and their own energy from all other people, not just in romantic relationships, because Pisces people can tend to be too connected to their family as well. And if you have people in your family who, are used to you not having no boundaries, when you finally put those boundaries in place to say, no, I'm not gonna, babysit your kids all the time for free, or I'm not gonna, take you to work and you don't give me no gas money, or whatever the case may be, Pisces learn, or they have learned over the last 2.5 years because of the effects of Saturn to have these boundaries within one-on-one relationships with anybody, and even at work they're learning their value because Piscean people sometimes struggle with knowing their worth. That's something again they have to learn over time, like, oh, this is what accepting less is, or this is what I'm worthy of receiving if I just go over here. And if I just Pisces can have a tendency to adjust so much that they don't grow. And I say that because I say that in order to grow, you have to change. And Pisces people are so used to adjusting to, whatever the situation is, that sometimes they could be more hesitant to wanting to change and want it. Because it's not a cardinal sign, so it's not a sign that's going to initiate change. It's a sign that's going to be very comfortable with, being uncomfortable, really. And until they learn, like Pisces, eventually, depending on what degree your sign is in, you're going to eventually change and progress into the next sign, which is Aries. And Aries energy is all about being more selfish. So Pisces is the one sign that, you go from this unconditional love for everybody and this wanting to be, a healer and wanting to be like a fixing person, like fixing things for other people, to this sort of selfish energy where you have to not do certain things in order to save your own energy, in order to protect yourself and to keep yourself from being overwhelmed and overworked and overstimulated and let down and disappointed and feeling anxiety and turning to drugs and turning to alcohol and turning to sex. And these are the negative outcomes when Pisces people give too much of their energy to other people, and they haven't learned to self-regulate, and they haven't learned to set these boundaries, and they haven't learned to say no. So hopefully over the last 2.5 years, you've had the opportunity, with Saturn being directly in your sign, to take heed to knowing, you know, there's a line between you and other people, or at least there should be a line between you and other people. You can't just give all your love away. You can't just put all your eggs in one basket. You can't just believe somebody at face value. You have to test them. You have to try them. You have to see if people are going to be consistent over time. And another thing I'll talk about is relationships with Pisces, because you have Virgo on the seventh house. And over, this last 2 years, the axis of the North Node has been in Pisces, and the axis of these eclipse seasons have been in Pisces and Virgo. So you've had a lot of transformation and a lot of like sudden changes and things when it comes to these nodal axes. So whatever house is in, you have to look at that house. And I'll actually go through and make another video, part 3, and stay tuned